Unforgettable 1997 election exposes dark secrets that might shake today's political landscape.
Joan was with us on the call, and Joan was as puzzled as I was because we asked the same question with the same tone. Couldn't understand it. And then we pull up the document and Will said, now bear in mind, I didn't make it up. It's not a newspaper article, so it's a journalist giving an opinion. Nothing like that. This is a report. This is coming out of a court case. This is a court document. Is again, I can't emphasize it enough, is not somebody's opinion, thoughts, or feelings. This is pure, unadulterated truth. Now remember me say, not every fact is a truth. You can't refute the truth. That's fact. Mr. Provost Rattigan.
All right. Let me just set the stage. Marvin's back. Let me just set the stage up quickly. What happened is that in 1997, there was an election in December. Was it West Central, St. Andrew? I used to live in that neighborhood. Right, I used to play football with Tower under 16, and the Prime Minister won. Prime Minister won he wasn't the Prime Minister, just a candidate. Won the 1997, his first time in representational politics. Won the election. The person who ran against him, Dr. Warren Blake, he challenged it and said, no, there were some voting irregularities going on, man. And so I have to appeal this. Next week, I'm going to explain the whole structure of how you appeal election irregularities, because it's not what most people think. But anyway, he appealed it. And when he appealed it, the body that looked at it, and it's not a court, it's called a constituted authority. When they looked at the evidence, they said, no, man, something is wrong here. So what they did then, they filed an action with a special court called the Election Court, which is under the Supreme Court jurisdiction of Jamaica. So follow me. Election, Andrew Holness won. His challenger appealed it, saying that there was voting irregularity. It went to the constituted body. That's where he appealed it to. The constituted body looked at his evidence and said, no, this is not right. And so they filed, which they're required to do, file it in court on his behalf. And I'm going to show you, no found no member they say no. I don't think of ancient history, but when you look at what happened then and you look at what happened this year, you start to see a pattern and practice of certain voting irregularities. I'm going to show you something that is going to blow your mind. In 1997, for the election, it was the first time that Jamaica invited the Carter Center to come in and exert oversight over the election. They said, we want to come, and they said, we want you to come and we want you to look and just make sure that everything is according to election law. Carter Center has a history of doing this. They've done it all over the place. So they came in. Who came in? President Carter, the now deceased President Carter. His wife, Rosalind Carter, also deceased. Colin Powell, deceased, he came. Evander Holyfield is still alive, he came. And a host of people came. I went through the court case and I saw I saw a whole bunch of voting irregularities. Whole lot of them. But there's one that is so striking. The moment I saw this, I said, anything possible after this. Anything is possible. You can do anything you want to know. Here it is. Well, it's page 16. Let me show you the case. Just so you don't think me I make it up. Here it is right there. It is right there. In the matter of the Representation of the People Act and in the matter of the Elections Petitions Act and the Constituted Authority. There you go. So it's a real case. And here it is. Who represented Andrew Holness at the time he wasn't Prime Minister? Miss Ruby Walcott, Abe Dabdoob, and Philip Forrest for Andrew Holness. And Dudley Thompson, Walter Scott, Norma Linton and Richard Rowe for Warren Blake. That's a gentleman who was complaining, said them thief the election from him. So the court went through the evidence, looked at everything, and I'm going to show you page 16. I'm going to show you some other things. Let me just run to, because we're running out of time. Let me just go to page 16, 15, 16. All right. Now I'm going to show you this. I want you to read this. This is polling division number 72, right? And for those of you who can't see it, you can't see it, Marvin?
Yeah, man.
All right. It says Marjorie McKee, the duly appointed presiding officer for the above-named polling division, which is 72, states on oath that she counted the ballots in the presence of who? Former U.S. President Jimmy Carter and his wife. Jimmy Carter and his wife, them count the ballots in front of him. Because you know them have a preliminary count and then them have a final count, right? So this is a preliminary count. Having done so, Miss McKee placed the ballots in the box and was escorted to the counting station by the police, where she handed over the box to the returning officer, Mr. Thomas. Mr. Thomas verifies the receipt of the box with a preliminary statement of poll signed by Marjorie McKee, which showed, and here's where the box, the ballot, where them count in a division 72. See where it show you? Warren Blake, 330.
Before it.
Andrew Holness, 7. And the NDM man get 1. And that come out to 346. Prepare for the shock, people. Prepare for the shock. Prepare for the shock. The final count. This is the preliminary count. Them count is in front of the former president, Jimmy Carter, and his wife. Look, them say there are 353 electors in this polling division. 253, right? So what that? How much people never vote? 46, 54, and 7 people never vote, right? Out of the 353, 7 people never vote. Am I correct? My math's correct, sir? Math's correct. People see Shaka Marvin on the 22nd of December during the final count. This box was found to be empty. See them?
I'm having face.
See them? Wow. See there? And you're saying these ballots were not reckoned in deciding the outcome of the poll. Again, look what I'm saying. The irresistible conclusion is that the ballots were tampered with. And you say, who gets 7 votes?
Yeah, yeah, because if me get 338 votes, I know what I tamper with the box.
Exactly.
There's no need to tamper with the box because we have to tamper with it for the TV that has 8 votes. The TV that has 8 votes, no man, we're good.
Marvin, this is not the only irregularity. We have enough more, but we are running out of time. So we just say we are gonna leave this till next week. We are gonna show you the rest of them. And then what we are gonna do, we are gonna show you the law. And here what we are gonna show them now, Marvin. We are gonna show them the action we just filed a week and a day ago. A week and a day ago. And guess what? Some of the same things will happen right as so. When Mr. Blake complained about, some of the same things we're complaining about, some of the same things happen this year with the same candidate and doing it. No, I'm not saying that Andrew Holness have anything to do with it. I'm just saying, look kind of funny.
Yeah.
Look funny. Look like it's pattern and practice.
Yeah.
So people, if you see the things will happen. Oh, you know what? Here, since we have a little bit of time, we have 15 minutes or so. Let me show you something. There's in the representation of people, it says that you cannot have a crowd within 100 meters of a polling station. You cannot have a crowd. If you're going into vote, you go in, but you can't have a crowd, and you can't be drinking, and you can't be campaigning. You can't do none of that on the day of election. I want you to take a look at this video here. And you know what? We have Terry and waiting up. Terry, forgive me. Let me just show the people this video here. Alright, see that? Look on this video, people, and tell me if the people in there are 100 meters away from the polling station. Look on it. Which part is the police, them and the soldier, there's the polling station to your left as you look on the video. Look, see the polling station right there now. Look on the crowd. That look like 100 meters away?
Hello? I'm probably inches on a meter, man.
But that's why I'm going to show them the law next week. The law is 100 meters.
100 inches at a time.
No.
If me a PNP, me have a green shirt the day there.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have to give this lady, we have to give her my sincere apology. She's been waiting for quite some time. This is Terry-Ann. She adopted a school and she's trying to raise some resources to help out that school, the children, the teachers, whatever. Terry-Ann, you there? Talk to me. Let me see your face, please. Terry-Ann, I don't see her at all. Well, let me add her.
I am not one who fears criticism, but there are people who fear me when I respond to them.
Oh, hold on. See the threat to people. Remember me telling about the threat when issue. And we said that we write to all the law enforcement agencies. This is a threat. This is a threat. This is a threat. This is here.
But there are people who fear me when I respond to them. Be assured that I will respond to any nonsense that comes out.
Don't forget to one the maroon one.
All right. Let me take him down. But we are looking for that all day long and we couldn't find it. And I don't know why, because it's attached to another video. I don't see her, so it looks like she's gone. I forgot to apologize to her. I forgot to bring her back Wednesday. But Marvin, let me tell you something. I have read the document, right? And I think and we'll have it up here. Hold on, let me see it. I've read the document, and I'm telling you that here is a document, people. I'm going to show you. And I'm surprised that the people, here it is. Here's a document. We're going to talk about this next week. Hold on. Here's a document. See there? Between Paul Buchanan and the Constituted Authority. Because here's what happened. Just in a nutshell, you know. Hold on there. But Kevin, dig up left me. You know?
Yeah.
Give me the thing there, Kevin. The chart. Jones chart. I'll show you. I'm going to show you how the thing work and what the man them do. Where is it?
It's in there. It's in PM. You went over it a while ago. It is in PM.
Where? I don't see it. Oh, here it is. Oh, here it is. All right. Look on this, my people. Big up yourself, producer Joan. All right. This is how it works, right? You have an election, right? And when you have an election, somebody going to win, somebody going to lose. Now, when you lose, how do you appeal? If you believe that the election was stolen from you, there are two routes to appeal. One is, you see on the left where it's a losing candidate. That is exactly what the man did back in 1997 with the prime minister. You can go to what is called the constituted authority. You can go to them within I think it's within 14 days after the final count. And you say to them, listen, I have evidence that things weren't done according to the rules. And you give them your evidence. That's one way. Another way, you see on the right where it says on its own volition, the constituted authority can call upon. And there's one person that they can call upon. If they suspect that there is some shenanigans going with the election, there's one person can call and that person will come and bring whatever evidence they request. We're going to go into details next week, right? So what's the constituted authority? It's a mechanism to fast track election complaints. Because if you had to go through the Supreme Court, normally years before, it would take years. In fact, there's a case where somebody lost an election, appealed it, and it took about 4.5 years before a decision was rendered. In this case, the law says that everything must be basically wrapped up within 6 months from the time you get them and the time the constituted authority have it, because it goes to a special court called the election court, right? That's how it works. Now, here is what happened now. What is the purpose of the constituted authority? They are there to see if there's any evidence. If there's any evidence. Forget about own volition, right? Where they can say, well, we want to look into election fraud or whatever. Let's stick with losing candidate, because most of the time that's where it's going to happen. You lose and you appeal to them. What it says is that the only evidence you have to bring to them is what? Affidavits. You just have to bring them an affidavit from people or from yourself saying, this is what I saw. That's all. And then they have no choice. They're supposed to take it. So when you go to the constituted authority and you give them your affidavit, them look on it, them read it, them say, okay, all right, fine. Then they're supposed to file a complaint on your behalf with the election court. Then the court now will say, okay, let's test the evidence. Let's test what you gave to the constituted authority. Let's see if it's real. Let's bring people in. Let's listen to people. Let's look at the evidence. That's the way it is supposed to work. Guess what happened in this year? Mr. Paul Buchanan took, I think it's like 18 affidavits to the constituted authority and said, here's the evidence that the election was stolen from. You know what the constituted authority did? Instead of giving it to the election court, instead of filing now with the election court, you know what they did? They went and they started looking at evidence. They started looking at the weight and the relevance of the evidence. Guess whose job that is? That is for a court. That is not their job. That is not their job. They have no saying that once you bring the affidavits to them and you said, here are my affidavits, they look, they read the affidavits, and say, all right, fine, let's file this thing, and then just file it with the court, and then we're off to the races. Instead, they look at the evidence and say, well, this evidence doesn't rise to certain standard, and it doesn't do this, and it doesn't do that. And so now Mr. Paul Buchanan is now in the Supreme Court with the thing I just showed you, with this one here. We're going to go through it next week. And what he's saying is that, wait a minute, that's not your job. That's not your job. And this is a well-drafted document, if I may say so. I've read it like 3 or 4 times already. It was drafted by Mr. Hugh Wildman. I'm telling you, this is first rate. I've gone through it several times, and I'll go through it again more times before next week. But it broke down every single detail of the Representation of People Act, the pertinent sections. It also went into the constituted authority. Then it went into the election petition, a whole bunch of things he went in. And then he used cases from Bangladesh, from India, all over the places, all over the place. Cases from England. And then guess what him do? With a stroke of brilliance, you know the man do? The man say, Judge, this case is our big case. The 1997 case where the Prime Minister did involve in her. And the court come out and rule against the Prime Minister. And them say, you see the things then when them rule against the Prime Minister, some of the things then what happen? Are the same things then were happening in 2025.
So the court has to rule again.
Exactly.
Same judgment, because previous judgment, yes, that stands. Yeah, you can't overlook that. You cannot overlook that. I figured that Buchanan has a strong case. Sorry to cut you off. I figured that he has a very strong case because they were his lawyer, Hugh Wildman. I read expressions, and when he was interviewed, he said we have a whole lot of evidence that. And when I heard that, I said the Prime Minister, this is gonna go over again, and Andrew Holness is gonna lose his seat, and we're going to have problems in Jamaica. I mark my word. I told people that there's gonna be a new election by 2026, 2027. Watch.
Yes.
Watch.
Yes. I've read this thing, and I'm telling you, this thing is airtight. It's airtight. They have no choice but to send it back to the constituted authority, and then the constituted authority now they have to go file it in the election court, and all of this is going to be done within 6 months. All of this is going to be done within 6 months. And then guess one of the things that one of the nice things about this law is that it says you don't have to have an accumulation of violations. You just need one. Just one you need. Like, let's take us some of them. I can tell you some of them. There were 2 instances of double voting where somebody voted, drop it in the ballot box, go to the person where on the precinct and say, my ballot spoiled, I want a new ballot. Then give them the new ballot, then vote again, drop it in the same box. 2 instances of that have been recorded.
Wow.
There's another instance where, the ballot box, you're supposed to follow it. The PNP, JP, they're supposed to follow it.
Right.
And they're supposed to have an agreed route where they say, okay, this way to this way. Guess what them do? When them come out at the polling station, them take a different route.
Yeah, I saw that.
And they couldn't see them for about 5 minutes. Them not see them. And them when them are going at the counting station, them see them are coming inside on the counting station. Then there were people who jumped the fence and have a mask and threatened the people. Then you have this, when we just show you a while ago, where them have the crowd gather, because that's intimidation. If you are planning to wear your orange, you're not going there to vote with them people out there. You're not doing. Then there's another one where they were campaigning on the day of election, which is a violation.
Wow.
And you have several more.
Wow.
You have several violations. It's not one, it's one.
I'll be here next week. Give live spears. Live spears. I'll be here. It's time for justice to be served. And the fact that we had a previous record with this man, I want to see a repeat of this, because the Jamaican people deserve justice. It is sad to know that the head of the country would have been implicated in such scam or fraud, election fraud. It's really sad. But we'll see. The courts will decide.
Yes, indeed. I think she's back, Let me see if she's back.
Believe the hype, Andrew. A lot of us are here.
No, she's not here. All right, we'll have to catch her next week. So, like I said, don't miss class next week, because this is when we do around here is university style. We do it. Do not forget, you have to tune in. Because when I go through this thing and I show you the people the law, and I show how it has been applied, and how it was applied in 1997, and how it should be applied now. The case is strong. This is as strong a case as I've seen.
Yeah.
And the constituted authority, them out of them league, because like that document said, only a court can weigh the evidence and determine the admissibility of the evidence. Only a court, not you, the constituted authority. You are an administrative agency, or at best, you're an oversight body. You just look to say,